you see all of the buzzwords. Gaming ecosystem. The things decentralized, very cool. It's a real community. So that's our new buzzword. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of No Cap. You know the deal. This is the podcast where we just say it like it is. I'm your host, VengaDragon, and today we have a special guest. His name is Santiago Portela. He is the CEO of Fitchin, and this is a fully integrated gaming ecosystem. We're talking about NFTs and esports. We're bringing the connection between the community and all the good things that come along with that. Santiago holds an MS in economics from the University of Buenos Aires and an MBA from Columbia Business School. Santiago, how are you? Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me here. I'm doing great, and thank you for the introduction. We are in the intersection of, or looking to be in the intersection of esports and fans and crypto. So it's a very interesting topics by themselves.
We have a lot to talk about, and there's a lot to unpack. So I want to get...
That's right. That's right. And it's a lot to unpack, and we are trying to do something quite a big scope and pretty aggressive. So there's a lot to unpack is it's being kind. It's there's a lot there.
Right. So I wanted to ask you right off the bat, and this is a little bit of a curveball question. Do you have a gamer name? What's your gamer name?
No, I don't. Yeah. I have. No, I have.
Oh man,
not much of a gamer the last. Yeah, I know. It's. I'm more into the business side. I used to play a lot more. Right now with the family and kids, it's tough to put all the hours there. So every time I get too close to the phone or the computer after hours, it's I get a roll in the eyes and again there.
I don't know. You tell me, audience. I don't know if we started off on a good deal there, but I think it's more important to talk about what we have here at Fitchin. You can find at fitchin.gg. This is the website that Santiago is the CEO of, and we want to talk about the problem that Fitchin solves for esports and the gaming community. What is it, and what problem does it solve?
It's a good question. And what's the main problem? I will put it into two different aspects. One is, what is the problem for the esport teams? And then what's the problem for the users or for the gamers, for the community? So for the esport teams is the lack of, or most of their revenue come from their sponsors and very little from their fan base, from their followers. So that's a problem. They leave the teams in a very weak spot where if sponsor falls apart or something happens, they have a very tough time on putting their accounts in order, and that might then trigger into losing a team or the quality of their team, and then the attractiveness for their fans. For the users is, okay, how I get closer to the team I follow? How do I get more interaction? How do I get different experiences than the ones I get by watching Twitch or chatting there? And what else is there? And that's the question, and that's what we, through blockchain, we're trying to break down.
So the customer is the esports team, or is it the viewer? Who is the customer of Fitchin?
It's a weird question. The customer, in a way, is the user, the community, and the esport team is our partner. We are enabling the teams to get into this new world of this Web3 and this blockchain environment or these tools, so that they can approach their community in a different way. So at the end of the day, who's the user? Who's the client? Is the community. and we are just partners of these teams and bringing this to them.
So you see it more as like a micro-based transaction, or is there like other applications? Like are the transactions going to be small, or is it going to be like epic proportion, like communication and collaborations? What do you see it as first?
It's a good question, and there's different answers to that. I'll just start by telling you a little bit more of what you're doing inside Fitchin, because that's the kind of the question. And using all the buzzwords, Fitchin is a Web3 Gaming Community Playground, and that is to connect esports teams, streamers, and fans. Taking out all the buzzwords and bringing more into what exactly it is for the user. It's this playground is basically first of all a community hub where fans can get closer to their team through a membership pass in the form of an NFT. But the idea is a membership, and what this membership brings is exclusive contents, tournaments, voting and polls, special benefits and discounts, access to special experiences, and in real life events, plus the possibility of a community governed treasury.
Okay.
It's very much like any membership pass, with the added of, okay, by using the tools of blockchain, it allows me to add some things and be very targeted on, okay, I have this to offer, and I know as a team who has the membership and can and bring them more. Then the second aspect of this playground is tournaments. We know that gamers like to play and they like to compete. So the possibility here is to play in tournaments, open tournaments, anyone, or closed tournaments for the community per se. So you're a fan of a specific team, you have their membership pass, and now you can play inside that tournament for that community and see who is leading the leaderboard of that community, start competing in that community, maybe go to and play against a different community and see how the different communities in the amateurs can start putting their jersey of their team and defending the colors of their team. So a lot of interaction there in the traditional titles, right? League of Legends, Valorant, Counter-Strike, the usual names of the esports teams.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this, you're not seeing this. As Santiago was speaking, I started to smile, and he started to smile because he realized I started to get the applications and how this can grow into something. The idea I really love that he mentioned and why I smiled was because of the community versus community. That's pretty cool, like Optic versus FaZe, Hyperizon versus Optic, right? Our team, just the way that the communities can go. And that is something that is just absolutely awesome. I like that.
Yeah, and it's giving a place for the amateurs. The pros, they are competing and they're getting their traction in these tournaments. Now, what if we allow these communities, these amateurs, players, they're growing into the sport, they're playing better, but maybe they're not yet professional, or maybe they don't want to ever be professional, but they like competing and like to be there. Why not allow them to be part of this community and this and their team and play there and compete through that?
Yeah. I was part of for many years, I was a professional poker player. So I played as cash, but the thing is they did have tournaments, there was a tournament circuit, and then there was a cash game circuit. And even though I was a professional poker player, I wasn't playing tournaments, but it was nice to compete in those things. There were a lot of players that were involved in that who were great players, but they just didn't want to be professional. So it's just for those kind of players where they could have this showcase to shine, and they still have a name for themselves. They're still part of the community, but they don't have as much obligation to be under contract or whatever it may be. So that's cool.
No, it's exactly that, and the possibility of playing the tournament and then having some of the games streamed and showcasing in the Twitter account of your team. And so it's not just you playing there, it's just much more, and that's available for them. And we think that the community has been asking, the different community has been asking something of that.
Yeah. And you always see community, like you said at the beginning, and that's one of the things I was impressed by what you said. You said buzzwords, and you see all of the buzzwords. You see the things and the this, that, buzz, community, decentralized, and all these different buzzwords. But you came right in with some meat and showed how what you're talking about is a real community. And that aspect is very cool. It's a real community. So that's our new buzzword.
Yeah. And that's why when I said this is the scope is pretty big, it's because, we're thinking about, the memberships in the communities, the tournaments. We're also working on a marketplace so that we can add value-added content and limited collections produced by us and our partners, the other teams for these communities, for these users. What we're doing there is starting with the Decentraland, the sandbox, being able to go to the house of your team and obviously a store and all that, but also having quests, having events and things that put the community together and allows you to compete and do things there and make it fun for a digital community in nature, which is the gaming community. It's for the esports teams, is one of the problems is that it's very hard to do a in real life event and have all the community there because followers are in different cities, different countries, different continents. So that's the idea of bringing them together this way.
That's cool.
And so we call this playground. Our tagline is play, connect, collect, because you're playing tournaments, connecting with other members of your community, and collecting, if you want, NFTs or other digital assets that your team are producing or generating for these different communities and members.
I wanted to talk about this as it sounds like you have a token, and is that token named Chin? Is that correct?
We don't have a token yet. We are in the process of everything that I have mentioned. We are working on the development of that. We have already started doing some tournaments. The tournament platform is being released hopefully on Friday, knock on wood. And wow. We're releasing the community hubs in a few weeks, and then the marketplace will come over, and the metaverse experience. We are planning a party for the token launch after the summer. So there's a lot there happening. But yes, we are working on a token, and the reason for that is, as I mentioned, this is a whole platform. It's an ecosystem, and it's useful. And it's good for the community to have one token that allows all the transactions and keeps everything in the same place.
Yeah. So it is named Chin. Is that correct? Right?
That's correct.
Okay. So what type of token is it? Like, is it so that people understand that because there's a lot of out there right now where you hear the tokens and it's up and down and different things, but our audience is not really crypto audience. Maybe they're just like, they want to know what type of token it is and how does it?
No, this token, it's going to be in Solana, an SPL token. And I get where you're going on. Everyone is kind of shaky on what has happened in the market, ups and downs, and a lot of downs. So it's a difficult market, and also it's a difficult audience. If you want, we are talking about all the community of the esports, and not everyone is into crypto. Not everyone is interested into crypto. So how you approach that market, and for us is two ways. One is making it easy in the sense that having a wallet and downloading something that it seems shaky or seems difficult, or how you bridge that. And that's the first thing that we have to bridge, and we got there through a login that it's very much like Web2. So it's very easy for a user to have their own wallet without even noticing that they have a wallet. Kind of when you sign up in a game and you have, I don't know, in Fortnite, and you have the V-Bucks and you have an account there, but you didn't do much and you still have that wallet to have your money there. This acts in a similar way. Then the other thing is, okay, I don't want to make this an investment. It doesn't need to be an investment. I want my membership, you get your membership, then maybe you play a tournament, you won Chin, you can move that into a stable coin and find yourself feeling safe or out of this complicated market, if you want, for people that are not used to it. Or you might keep it there, and with those tokens that you got by winning this tournament, buy an NFT or a collectible of your team that it's because of them reaching the finals of Valorant, and you have and you like it just to hold it. We're talking about, and you asked before, are we talking about small transactions, big transaction? These, as we envision this, it has to be something of small transactions, not 5 cents, but yes, something onto the 10, 25, $40, which is the usual skins or things that you get into a game. It's not seen as an investment, these NFTs, but as a utility, as an access, or something that you like and just want to hold it, not because you want to be a millionaire by holding them. Hopefully you do, but that's not the goal. It's how you can get in and out and just have fun. And that's the idea, having fun, being part of a community.
Right. So if we were to just put it in the real world, like in, let's talk about before even NFTs and tokens were a thing on the internet, it's really meant to be like a pure token. You go to the carnival and you get the token and you go on the ride, right? It's part of so that makes sense. I like that because it's funny. We like, just so the audience knows as well, Santiago and I had communicated a little bit before we got on here, and I sent them some of the questions, not all. You'll know the questions I didn't send them, like, for example, like the gamer question, like he didn't have that one because he should have had that one prepared. But there was a few questions that I sent to him in advance, and one of them is kind of falling apart here because it doesn't necessarily, it's been answered, but I kind of want to answer it again. Ask it again, because I think that it's important, and that it's like, what are your thoughts on when people say that adding NFTs and cryptocurrencies and tokens and things like that will stifle game development, meaning that people will be more reliant on trying to like work in this crypto and NFT token market and try to like do this instead of actually make creativity in games. So the process of creativity is brought down because people want to start making money and start trading. How does Fitchin avoid this? Like, how do you avoid this?
I think I in a way I agree on your point, especially on how play to earn has been until now in a way. But thinking it a different way, why, if I'm again using Fortnite, right? Why, if I have V-Bucks inside my Fortnite account and I want to get them out, why can't I? And if I want to, I bought a couple of skins and I'm out of the game and someone wants to buy them, why isn't it easier to just trade them? And that's a little bit of, in a way, ownership. It's a little bit of also of the technology behind it to be able to move around and change those things. And that's open up for, that's a benefit for the user. And that's something that it's, with crypto, it's not difficult at all. And yes, you can make the argument. Why would I want to buy expensive NFT to play to earn? I just go to a game to have fun. This is not my why I play games. So that's totally understandable, and I get there. But that's not the only way that you can use crypto in games.
Yeah.
And in a way, I told you about play, connect, collect. What I didn't tell you about, we are also developing the earn side. And this earn side, how we envision this is, it's more of allowing users to collect points or XP, we call it energy, for any interaction that you do in the platform. And like a loyalty system. So what's the end goal of that? You use that energy to evolve an avatar. And this is very much intertwined with the community aspect. So the community will be able to kind of decide and build a story behind this avatar. What's the what species this avatar is, where it goes, and what's the this is also intertwined with the metaverse strategy. So where you take that avatar, the skins, and how you grow it. So this, what I want to say with this is, Web3 allows that of these users, this community, building their own, in a way, their own game, being owners of this IP with the teams. And now it's more, it's building for something of value and ownership against maybe Web2, where the only ones that were building for value or ownerships were the publishers. So now you're bringing that into the community. And that's a difference that it's very interesting. And here, I was not saying using this energy just to make money. It was, okay, building a story behind it, being part of this story, and just thinking of where else you can take this creation that you have built. And I think that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. It's it's experiences. That's what you talked about. You've talked about, I've heard you mention experiences a few times, and I've dealt with another company that had the same idea. They used the word experiences. And so what experiences do you see for the community with the esports team? Like, is it just tournaments, or is there like luncheons or something, like things that you can't do with Discord and a PayPal account, something like that? Like
Some of those you can do it with a PayPal account and Discord. The nice thing about, and here it's not making it more expensive, it's just using crypto as a tool to enable that transaction in a easier way. In the sense that if you have that membership, Discord can read that you have that NFT, that membership, and it opens up a channel for you. And there you can get in and have a chat, and it doesn't have to be an NFT of $1 million. It can be a $25 membership that one of the things that gives you is access to that channel where you have chats with the pro team, or you have coaching lessons where the coach, where you can do a lottery, and one every week can win an hour with the coach and learn some of the things. And how you can do that with blockchain, because you know who has a wallet, and it's all transparent on who wins it and why. Again, it's not about the expense or the cost. It's about using a technology that simplifies and put it into the open and makes things that were before kind of opaque in very transparent. And that's the idea. And communities kind of like that. But experiences, yeah, it's, as I was saying, meet and greets. You can do also chats with the teams, coaching, being able to play a game, a match with the pro team, and you can do some win this and that, and then you can have that special game. Or some teams have their own space for playing for their game game location, how you can get access to that, how you win that ticket, or who the team gives access to that space. Okay, with blockchain, it's quite easy to manage that. Plus ticketing, there's a lot of there to be done.
Yeah, so I totally get that, and I like it. And the idea, though, it sounds though as if the experiences can be made by the esports org or the community, and they would then allow you use Fitchin to then bring that together. Is Fitchin going to be creating any of these experiences or suggesting, or is there going to be like things on the website where you have the experiences, or are you going to leave that up to the esports teams and communities?
There's a little bit of both in a way. How we, and we are in the process of signing a couple of teams. We're working very close to close a couple of teams, and when we talk to them and when we work with them is, okay, what is that you have that you want to give your community? What else can you give? And for that, it can't be one thing fits all, because one team, for instance, have a gaming place, they call it a club, and how you get to access to that specific spot. It's something that team has, but maybe another team doesn't. So that's an add-on for that specific community. And that has to be tweaked on who these teams are, what their community wants, what the community likes doing. Because if not, you lose this contact on, or this goal that it's putting the teams closer to their communities. If not, you're not talking the same language, and that's definitely a problem.
Yeah, it is. So I think that it's also fair to tell the audience right now, as of it's July 13th on the day of this recording, and we are in early stages though for Fitchin. It's like the beginning. We're just going to be like, Fitchin is going to start bringing more and more to the community, and I think that starts Friday, which would be the next Friday, where you had mentioned that you're going to be like activating the site. So if you go to the website now, which is fitchin.gg, you'll just see that there is a timeline, and it's like, it's pretty much in the beta stage, would you say, or would you say even sooner than that?
Let's see how to put it. It's in a beta stage because we are testing. We are releasing the idea is to release an MVP tournament platform MVP, which will be working, and we have already started doing some tournaments. We did one with a team in Argentina that it's for League of Legends, and we have 64 teams playing this tournament. It was pretty good. Then we had another one in playing Valorant. It was the first one was 105 teams, and we did a second tournament last weekend, and that was 1 month after the first one. And then we have the minors and majors with 64 teams each, split up with the different rankings of the players. And it was also a success with streaming and all that. So we are already doing things, developing the platform and bringing that into the people takes a little bit of time, much more than I would like to, but we are getting there, and we're already doing things for the community and trying to onboard them even before everything's there. Yeah.
So I've very much enjoyed talking to you about this. This is actually the first time that I've discussed like NFTs and crypto and any of in that field. I've had like experience in gaming for quite a while, and I'm so intrigued as to see where this is going to go. And I believe that in some degree that the esports and gaming is not ready for it, but they should be, right? You have to be ready for it because it's inevitable. It's going to be the future. So having said that, is there anything at all that you'd like to include in this that I haven't asked you? Is there something that you'd like to share that you think is important for the community to know and important for gamers to know about how Fitchin is going to be a part of that future?
There's so many things, but I would just go into the dive a little bit more into what you said on the how afraid many of the people in the gaming communities of crypto and NFTs and so forth. And to be fair, it's well placed because of a lot of things that had happened and some mistakes that were made, or some pushes that were made not very much thought so. At the same time, crypto and gaming, they're very intertwined in what they are or where they come from, right? It's gaming communities is a digital community in nature. Crypto is a digital currency. So it's in a way they're cousins. They're very close to each other. They haven't seen eye to eye, but they're very close to each other. Then gamers are used to digital assets, and NFTs are just digital assets. You can put any price there, but it's digital assets that you know that they are the actual assets and they're not copies of something else. So as you can see, all of these things are very, very close to each other. It's just time for both worlds to get together and not one following the rules of the other, but finding the way of how one can make the other better and grow both together and go to the next level. And definitely what has been done in the past is not enough. And that's why this conflict between the two. But there's a lot of, the technology is great and the technology will help a lot to develop what the next stage of gaming will be.
Well, I think that one of the great things that you're doing is you're getting yourself out there and putting yourself in front of the community. I think that's where it starts. I think that communication obviously is going to be very important in this. Transparency, another one of the buzzwords that we all need. And it's true. I think that I like what you said, that if it's their cousins or primo, right? They're primo. Yeah. They come together and you work it out and you don't force yourself on it. But the thing is you're part of the family. You got to do sometimes you got to do what people like. Sometimes the cousin has to do, may not always do what you like, but you could work together because you're one big family. So I'd like to thank you for coming on, Santiago. I want to tell everybody again that this is the website fitchin.gg. This is a community that I think is led by an excellent person to be out there and get himself and this type of service in front of gamers and make sure that it happens in a positive light. So thank you very much for coming today. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. And thank you for the kind words.